Hello and welcome. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Topping our news this evening, after much excitement for the Atlanta Braves to start spring training next year in Northport, the opening of the stadium and training facility has now been delayed.
The Atlanta Braves made that announcement today, saying more time is needed for construction. ABC7's Christopher Brantley has more from Northport.
Good evening, and as you can see behind me, the new Braves spring training stadium is steadily rising from the ground. There is, however, a change in schedule. Rather than being open for the full spring training season of 2019, it's actually going to be 2020.
It's simply a matter of getting everything complete and making sure that the project is right and something that we can live with for the next 30 years.
Mike Dunn is the Atlanta Braves Director of Florida Operations. The original goal was to have the stadium open for the whole of spring training 2019, but that's not going to happen.
We'll train for the majority of 2019 in Disney and come and open up the stadium at the end with one game and be ready to go.
The new goal is to have the stadium open for one game of 2019. That's not entirely welcome news, but the local Chamber of Commerce is making the best of it.
It's really mostly just a disappointment on the tourism aspect of it. But on the economic development, I mean, it just slows it down a little bit. It's going to happen.
Aerial photographs show the work that's being done now. The stadium's footprint is becoming easier to see.
We're pouring foundations now, so a lot of the subsurface work has been complete. We're obviously bringing in dirt on to get the backfields elevated.
The site is drawing a lot of attention, especially from die-hard Braves fans, many of whom will now have to change their spring training plans.
People coming outside of town who are already scheduling their time to their vacation time around spring training. That's where we're going to miss them. But again, you got to think long-term on the project like this. We'll get them after that.
So the first game for this new stadium will actually be the last game of the spring training season for 2019. That'll be happening in April. In Northport, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Christopher. Now an update on the area's 911 outages today. People in Sarasota and Manatee counties can now make calls to 911 dispatch centers after not being able to overnight and then earlier today. A 7-county outage impacted many here on the Suncoast as well as the Tampa Bay area. Those outages were a result of technical issues with Frontier Communications in Tampa. A spokesperson with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office says if another outage happens, the public can always go to a local law enforcement office or fire station.
There's dozens throughout the county. If someone's experiencing an emergency, they can certainly visit one of our locations. What we're doing is we're communicating with the public to the best of our ability to give them alternative phone numbers. One of those numbers we really want to stress is 861-5000. Again, that number is 861-5000. Folks can call that number and talk to a dispatcher in real time. We just want to make sure that people know that we're here, we're available.
Service was restored around 1 o'clock this afternoon and is now, again, working properly.
President Trump calling for bipartisanship at his first State of the Union last night, but the reaction he got was still divided on party lines. The president ditching his tough, often divisive campaign talk. Instead, he called for unity in his State of the Union address. He touted the rising stock market, the defeat of ISIS, and his $1.5 trillion infrastructure plan.
The state of our union is strong because our people are strong.
Democrats sat on their hands most of the night, a stark contrast to Republicans who seemed to clap continuously. Even the president at times clapping for himself. Representative Joe Kennedy III delivered the Democratic response to the State of the Union address. He outlined the Democratic vision of America that he said promises a better deal for all who call this country home.
Let's get a check on our weather today. It was a kind of a chilly start this morning, but it warmed up to a really gorgeous day on the Suncoast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Yeah, crisp start to this morning. We saw that big super moon and blood moon, and I tell you what, the full moon as well, meaning we had a blue moon, the two full moons in 1 month. You can see some high clouds ripping across our area right now, and it looks as though we'll see a gorgeous sunset tonight with these clouds around. We're going to look at mostly fair skies, but a lot of times we get these ice crystals that create some brilliant colors when the sun goes below the horizon. By the way, the moon rises tonight, 6:35, and it should be nearly full at 99%, and it will be, again, 14% closer, 30% brighter for us this evening. 70 degrees right now. It's nice out there this afternoon. 45 on the dew point. That's a little bit on the lower side, so we'll get cool again tonight. It won't be nearly as cold, though, to start things off tomorrow morning. Evening planner looks good. We'll see temperatures into the mid-50s by 11 o'clock. You'll need a sweater, jacket. Heading outdoors through this evening, there'll be a bit of a breeze, but not much. It looks as though we will see warmer temperatures as we approach the weekend and a chance for rain. We'll have the details on that rain chance coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Florida politics could be remade this election year. The state now home to tens of thousands of Puerto Ricans after their homes were ravaged by Hurricane Maria. ABC 7's Alan Cohn joins us with more details. Alan?
Jacqueline, this could be a real political game changer around the state since Hurricane Maria hit. An estimated 130,000 Puerto Ricans have moved to Florida. 50,000 of them expected to stay heading into the midterm elections. Both the Republican and Democratic parties statewide are now courting the new arrivals to Florida.
Puerto Ricans tend to lean Democratic, so I think Democrats are really excited potentially about this influx of voters that could lean in their favor. It's not a guarantee, though, and it's not like every Puerto Rican votes Democratic.
Coming up tonight at 7, ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick is diving into the issue, looking at whether or not the influx of Puerto Ricans calling Florida home will affect local and statewide elections, including right here on the Suncoast in 2018. Back to you.
Alan, thank you. And FEMA announcing it's ending emergency food and water operations in Puerto Rico. FEMA says it's no longer needed for emergency operations. The agency citing the restoration of the commercial food and water supply chain and the availability of private suppliers. FEMA has distributed more than 65 million liters of bottled water and more than 58 million meals since Hurricane Maria's landfall last fall.
A mishap that happened here on the Suncoast during Hurricane Irma may prompt statewide changes. You may remember this when the storm was approaching Florida. A sign language interpreter signed gibberish during a televised briefing in Manatee County. He signed miscellaneous words about pizza and bears. Because of that incident, state lawmakers are now considering a bill that addresses how the state communicates with hearing impaired residents during weather emergencies. That bill would require the officials to include a qualified sign language interpreter at televised hurricane briefings.
$100 million a year could be going towards the Florida Forever Land Conservation Program. The Senate unanimously passing a proposal today that would use money from a 2014 voter-approved constitutional amendment aimed at increasing land and water conservation. The legislation would annually designate a portion of the state's land acquisition trust fund for the program. Lawmakers would not be able to use the trust fund money for agency overhead, which has been a point of contention with backers of that 2014 amendment.
We have a responsibility as our state grows to now the third largest state in the union to make sure that those special parts of the state, those unique ecosystems that can't be replicated anywhere else in the world, that they are preserved for future generations.
Since 2001, Florida Forever has been used to purchase more than 718,000 acres for $2.9 billion, but the program has languished since the recession as some key lawmakers have questioned the need to buy more land while struggling to manage the land the state already owns. Still to come, your Suncoast News tonight, former sports doctor Larry Nassar back in court this week facing another prison sentence. And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus why an unlikely virus could be the reason for your flu-like symptoms, what to watch for, and how to treat it.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you could buy today, and named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
You don't want to miss the annual Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. It is the largest orchid show on Florida's west coast with thousands of blooming orchids on display and for sale. You'll also find orchid growing supplies, artwork, jewelry, accessories, and free classes. Make plans now to attend the Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. Go to vaos.org online for more details.
Start the year off with big savings during the Start Something New event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Why settle for less when you can shop the Suncoast's largest selection? Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $24,999. Or drive away in a beautiful new Chrysler 300 for as little as $21,999. That's right, save over $9,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Choral Artists of Sarasota presents Carmina Burana in Motion. Carl Orff's choral masterpiece, Carmina Burana, bursts into life in this lavish production designed for 60 voices, 3 celebrated soloists, a 2-piano percussion ensemble, and dynamic premiere choreography performed by members of Sarasota Contemporary Dance. Do not miss this lush feast of the senses. Saturday, February 3rd, 4 p.m. at Church of the Palms in Sarasota. Tickets and info are at choralartistsarasota.org or by calling 941-387-4900.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
The disgraced sports doctor at the center of a sexual abuse scandal is back in court this week facing another prison sentence. Just last week, Larry Nassar was sentenced up to 175 years in prison for sexually assaulting more than 150 women and girls while working as a USA Gymnastics and Michigan State sports doctor. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the latest.
More than 50 new victims confronting Dr. Larry Nassar back in court.
I forever lost a big piece of my childhood due to his abuse.
The sports doctor now facing sentencing for sex crimes from when he was working at an elite gymnastics club in Michigan.
Because now we are all here and ready to make sure you never see outside of prison walls again.
Last week, a different judge already sentenced Nassar to essentially spend the rest of his life in prison, and the fallout has been swift. The entire board of USA Gymnastics ordered to resign by the U.S. Olympic Committee, complying Wednesday. At Michigan State, the school president and the athletic director also stepped down, prompting the Board of Trustees to appoint former Governor John Engler as the new interim president also on Wednesday.
Excuse me, would you please?
Which drew protest from some students.
This is nothing more than symbolic. There's been no student or staff or faculty comment on this vote.
Meanwhile, in Washington, the Nassar scandal led to new legislation, passing a bill to prevent future predators from abusing young athletes.
Thank you to the public servants who heard our voices and for the bipartisan support of this bill.
Now, as for this sentencing, so far at least 57 victims have signed up to read their statements in court, and lawyers say many of them were inspired by the more than 150 women who came forward earlier. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Here in Florida, the Tampa Bay Rays team doctor is fired after a video posted on YouTube included accusations of sexual abuse with a teenager. The team announcing yesterday it severed ties with Michael Riley. The woman who posted the video, now 26 years old, worked for him about a decade ago. Riley denied the abuse allegations in a statement. He said he had a relationship with the woman when she was an adult. The Tampa Bay Times reports Riley also resigned from St. Petersburg Catholic High when school officials contacted him about that video. St. Petersburg police say they are looking into those abuse accusations.
You know, Bob and Scott, I didn't get a chance to see the super blue blood moon, is that correct?
That's it,
I
all
didn't get a
three,
chance
yeah,
to see it, but
yeah.
some of the pictures looked great.
And the supermoon happening as a result of 3 in a row. Really, we've had it over the last couple of years now, and that's being about 14% closer to the Earth, and it's apogee and perigee, and looks like perigee, and that's when it's closer. And then that was 30% brighter, and it will be tonight too, brighter. We're not going to get an eclipse, obviously, but we will see a brighter, big
It really
moon.
was.
Yeah,
I thought a light was on outside.
Yeah, no, as I was driving home last night, same thing. We are looking at some clear skies too. A moonrise look to the obviously east, and you'll see it rising around 6:35, and it will be bigger and brighter. Not quite as bright this morning, but you're not going to be able to tell the difference. Anthony's shooting this last night before the eclipse started, and this morning actually the sun was, actually the moon was going down as the sun was rising. And so that didn't help things as far as the total eclipse went with the moon, the lunar eclipse. Vanways, the webcam showing clear skies tonight, so we'll get a good glimpse at that. As high pressure continues to dominate our weather, and northeast the winds have now switched to the east. That means a little bit of a warm-up here. And the sunset tonight should be, again, spectacular as a result of those mid to high level clouds around. Satellite and radar picture not showing much going on as that high pressure ridge continues to really dominate our weather, and it looks as though it will continue to do so tomorrow. Now, with that wind more easterly, we'll see temperatures warm up around 73, 74 degrees across the area. We do have a storm system here to the northwest of us, which will change things up a little bit, and that easterly flow at the surface anyway coming in. You can see that quite clearly in these low clouds right now coming off the coast of the Carolinas. But this little cloud mass right there, that's the upper level winds at 30,000 feet. Which is known as a subtropical jet stream, which is very active right now over the Gulf of Mexico. Well, this front is heading our way. It's a cold front, but the story is it's not going to do a whole lot to our weather. We may see a little bit of an increase in clouds on Friday, but don't worry. We're not going to get a rain out by any stretch. It looks like everything for Friday evening looks to be okay. Music on Main at Lakewood Ranch looks to be spectacular, really, and crisp. But it's not going to be cold like we've seen over the past couple of mornings, but it still will be kind of cool. 70 degrees right now, current conditions, and the sunshine is out there. Winds are out of the east at 7. The pressure, again, not being shown up right now at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport. Wednesday, we're looking for lots of sunshine. Look at this, 73 right there at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It should be absolutely outstanding. 62 by 7 o'clock tomorrow. Temperature forecast for tonight, so it will be cool again, a couple degrees below average, but it won't be nearly as cold. I stepped outside this morning to walk the dog, and it was cold nonetheless. So we had wind chills into the upper 30s for the most part. 50-degree low in Orlando. Highs tomorrow right around 73. As I said, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going to say this is why we have come to Florida as a result of that nice weather tomorrow. Well, here's the front. You can see it produces snow through West Virginia, the Carolinas, and then kind of falls apart as it heads to Florida. As I mentioned, we may see a little bit of increase in cloudiness. Now, this is Saturday. Watch what happens on Saturday. The storm system really dumps a lot of snowfall into Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and then here comes the rain. Now, notice the timing has changed, flip-flop back and forth over the last 3 days now. This one now indicating a little later in the day, and even the European is suggesting that too. So we're going to keep a 30% chance for showers in the mix on Sunday, and then a better chance, 50%, through the evening on Sunday into early Monday morning. For boaters, again, seas are running less than 2 feet now, so that caution is no longer with us. As far as the moonrise, 6:35, it sets at 8:07, so it should be another beautiful, spectacular photo opportunity on the beaches as it goes below the horizon there. Cool is not as cold, and 48 for your low. And the extended forecast looks like this. 73, gorgeous. Friday, maybe a little increase in clouds. Not bad at all. We have music on Main here and should be perfect for that through the evening. And then as we move through time, again, we're going to see that rain coming in on, again, looks like late Sunday. So Friday looks to be really quite good as far as that goes. And then 50% chance for rain comes on Sunday night. A few showers there on Monday morning, and then 73. So that you can see the picture here. Cold fronts are starting to lose their punch a little bit as they head toward the west coast of Florida, and not nearly as cold as it was just a couple of weeks ago. Well, much more coming up. More moon pictures, too, of the actual little bit of eclipse and the blood moon as well. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, thank you so much. Let's get a look at First Alert traffic right now. We're looking like out at the beaches at this hour. It looks like a lot of people want to go out there and watch the sunset. Look at the northern tip of Longboat looks okay, but then traffic really slows north as you head onto Anna Maria Island near Bradenton Beach. But otherwise, the Cortez Bridge looking good at this hour. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Scott. In health news tonight, listen to those symptoms: runny nose, cough, sore throat, fever, headache. It all sounds familiar, right? Well, the flu might be to blame, but it could also be something different. ABC's Mary Maloney explains.
Getting sick during winter isn't unheard of. For many, it's expected. If you experience symptoms like a runny nose, sore throat, breathing problems, and headache, you may think it's the flu, but it could be another family of viruses known as adenoviruses. In addition to flu-like symptoms, these kinds of viruses can also cause pink eye and diarrhea in children. The viruses may also lead to pneumonia, and in some extreme and very rare cases, death. Most adenovirus infections are mild. Typically, the viruses are spread by coughing, sneezing, and direct contact with an infected person. You can also contract the viruses by touching items like door handles and light switches, where the viruses can live for long periods of time. If you do get sick, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says symptoms typically last about 10 days. And for most patients, home remedies and over-the-counter medicines to alleviate symptoms will be the only treatment necessary. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
Bill Gates has revealed his personal motivation in the fight against Alzheimer's. The billionaire philanthropist said on a Today Show segment that his 92-year-old father, Bill Gates Sr., has that disease. Gates calls Alzheimer's tragic but solvable. He has pledged a $100 million donation to the cause. More than 5 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's. It affects thought, memory, and language function. Everyone's favorite part of the Super Bowl, it's not the halftime show or even the commercials. It's got to be, of course, those delicious snacks. But is there a healthier way to enjoy the big game? The average American consumes, by some estimates, 2,400 calories during a Super Bowl party. That's more than a day's worth of food. One trick, swapping buffalo veggies in for chicken wings. Just as much taste, but far less saturated fat. Also, keep track of the alcoholic beverages that you are drinking. It cuts the calories, especially for the fan who's the designated driver. And don't forget the Saturday pregame. Making healthy choices the day before can even help some of the damage that is done on Sunday. Coming up, an Amtrak train carrying members of Congress crashes at 70 miles an hour. Lawmakers on board describe that scary experience. And a helicopter crash in California leaves 3 people dead. How investigators are working to determine the cause of that incident.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Around the neighborhood or around town, you'll feel good and look even better driving your new Fiat. For maximum performance, check out the all-new Fiat Spider. You'll flip over the superior handling and capability. Or follow roads less traveled in the Fiat 500X. So go big or go small. With prices starting as low as $13,999, you're sure to find a Fiat that fits your style during the Start Something New event, going on now at Sunset Fiat of Sarasota.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Midas of Sarasota Bradenton is being recognized as a national winner of a Distinguished Small Business Award.
We'll tell you how they plan to grow their business while investing in the Suncoast tomorrow on GMS. John?
So we're looking at a frontal boundary approaching our area over the weekend with a promise of rain. We'll talk about the timing bright and early.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
I'll be right back.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
An Amtrak train carrying members of Congress crashes into a trash truck at 70 miles an hour this morning.
Some of the lawmakers aboard that train say it happened without warning. ABC's Tara Palmieri reports from the crash site.
Dozens of Republican lawmakers were on board this chartered Amtrak train when it slammed into a trash truck near a crossing this morning. The train partially derailed.
Engine 151, Engine 58, Squad 505, Rescue 501, Car 508 for a train versus truck.
Trash and debris littered the area around the tracks just outside of Charlottesville, Virginia.
To have that type of impact at 70 miles an hour without any braking, it was quite a shock.
The GOP lawmakers, including House Speaker Paul Ryan, were on their way to an annual GOP retreat in Greenbrier, West Virginia. At least one person from the truck was killed. Others in the vehicle are also said to be seriously injured.
One of these sad situations where the vehicle and the men that were operating it were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
On the train, there were no major injuries reported, only minor. Minnesota Congressman Jason Lewis was sent to a local hospital with a concussion.
I was sitting down, so it didn't injure me as much, but the people that were standing up were thrown down.
House representatives and senators on board jumped on Twitter. Oregon Representative Greg Walden tweeting, "We're fine, but our train hit a garbage truck. Members with medical training are assisting the drivers of the truck." The White House says President Trump has been briefed on the crash. He and Vice President Pence are both scheduled to attend the GOP retreat.
I spoke with Speaker Ryan just a few moments ago, and they're doing pretty good. The train accident was a tough one.
Buses arrived to pick up the members of Congress and take them on to the retreat. And the NTSB is sending a team to investigate. Tara Palmieri, ABC News.
Investigators in Newport Beach, California, combing through the wreckage of a deadly chopper crash. 3 people were killed, 2 others injured on Tuesday when an Orange County-based tour and flight training helicopter crashed into a home. The chopper took off from John Wayne Airport just after 1:30 p.m. and was headed for Catalina when it crashed, killing the pilot and 2 passengers. A 4th person on board did survive. Since there are no Mayday calls, NTSB officials will look into the pilot's background, the chopper's maintenance records, and security camera video to help them figure out why that helicopter crashed.
It helps basically backtrack the event that occurred, and from there we're able to look at the video evidence and see anything, the condition of the helicopter prior to the impact.
Investigators hope finding what caused that deadly crash can help prevent something like this from happening again. Still to come on your Suncoast News, a former Venice High School football star preparing for the Super Bowl. What his former coaches and mentors have to say about watching him play the biggest game of his career.
And how a new bill in Tallahassee is aimed at making information about jail inmates more accessible to the public.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new Subaru Impreza for just $185 a month, or get 0% financing and 0 down with complimentary maintenance included. That's right, not 1 penny down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
You don't want to miss the annual Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. It is the largest orchid show on Florida's West Coast with thousands of blooming orchids on display and for sale. You'll also find orchid growing supplies, artwork, jewelry, accessories, and free classes. Make plans now to attend the Venice Orchid Show and Sale February 3rd and 4th at the Venice Community Center. Go to vaos.org online for more details.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment, and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jaffe Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.